Dealers across the country are sitting on motorcycles they simply can't move anymore. Bikes that once sold the moment they arrived are now collecting dust under bright showroom lights. And the situation's gotten so bad that brands have quietly started slashing prices, deep cuts, rebates, and incentives just to clear floor space. These aren't obscure models either. Some were icons in their day, machines a lot of us rode with pride. But riders have changed, expectations have risen, and certain platforms just can't keep up. Tonight, we're breaking down 9 motorcycle models no one is buying anymore, and why manufacturers are desperate to unload them, so stick around till the end, because a few of these might surprise you. Number 9. Harley-Davidson Sportster 883. It earned its reputation as the doorway into the Harley-Davidson world. For decades, riders appreciated its simplicity, its narrow frame, and the familiar rhythm of its V-twin. It was approachable without feeling cheap, and it carried an unmistakable identity that no other entry-level cruiser could match. Yet, as expectations around comfort, torque, and long-distance stability continued to rise, the Sportster began to show the limits of a platform that remained frozen in time. Riders who once admired its lean attitude now feel its age more than its charm. Many experienced riders recall the years when a lightweight Harley offered freedom without complication. The Sportster fit that image perfectly. But newer machines deliver smoother suspension, better braking, and broader torque curves. And riders who spend real miles on the road notice the difference instantly. The Sportster's lean frame transmits more vibration, its gearing feels tight at highway speeds, and its limited storage and range reveal a design that was never intended for long hauls. What once felt lively now feels restricted next to modern demands. Another shift comes from the expectations of older riders who want comfort without sacrificing the soul of a V-twin. Low-profile seats, narrow handlebars, and compact ergonomics were fine for short city rides. But over long distances, they become reminders of the Sportster's roots as a minimalist machine. Riders today expect confidence in crosswinds, steady braking on descents, and suspension that keeps the body fresh during all-day journeys. The Sportster offers personality, but it struggles to deliver that kind of refinement. Even nostalgia has its limits. The sound and stance still attract attention, yet buyers increasingly prioritize machines built for touring or relaxed cruising. When riders compare what a slightly larger cruiser offers in stability and road presence, the Sportster feels like the lighter memory of a different era. That does not diminish its legacy, but it does explain why it moves slowly on showroom floors today. Riders want a machine that grows with them, not one that reminds them of how riding used to feel. Nothing captures classic American simplicity quite like this air-cooled V-twin, built around an 883 cubic centimeter engine, producing roughly 50 horsepower and close to 53 pound-feet of torque. A single front disc and single rear disc braking setup handle stopping duties, with anti-lock braking offered in later years. Wet weight comes in near 564 pounds, paired with a seat height of approximately 29.9 inches. Fuel capacity sits at about 3.3 gallons, and pricing on its final model. Year release typically hovered around $9,000, depending on trim and region. The next bike on this list shows how even proven reliability struggles when expectations outpace evolution. Number 8. Honda Shadow Aero 750. The Shadow once stood as a dependable mid-size cruiser that welcomed riders who wanted comfort without excess. It carried an easygoing attitude and a steady rhythm that felt familiar to anyone who grew up around cable throttle machines and straightforward mechanical layouts. On open roads, it offered a calm pull, and in town, it rewarded smooth hands with predictable manners. Over the years, it earned a reputation for reliability that few argued with, yet the market did not stay frozen around it. Modern expectations shifted towards stronger torque delivery, refined suspension travel, and long-distance ergonomics that keep seasoned riders fresh mile after mile. riders who spent decades crossing states on large touring machines look for a calmer companion for local miles, yet they still expect a degree of composure when the highway opens. The Shadow offers simplicity, but it does not provide the relaxed authority that heavier cruisers deliver when wind conditions shift or when the pavement turns uneven. Its posture is friendly, though its ergonomics can feel dated for riders who now value neutral bar reach, supportive saddle density, and vibration control that softens long days in the saddle. The Shadow presents a pleasant first impression, yet it carries limits that become noticeable once the miles add up and the route stretches beyond familiar backroads. A smooth, low-revving V-twin defines this dependable cruiser, driven by a 745 cubic centimeter engine, making about 44 horsepower and close to 48 pound-feet of torque. Braking is managed by a single front disc and a traditional rear drum, with anti-lock braking available only on select trims. Wet weight lands around 560 pounds, while the seat height stays comfortably low at roughly 25.9 inches. The machine carries a fuel capacity of about 3.7 gallons, and its typical starting price has long remained near $7,949. The next bike on this list highlights how steady charm can lose ground when expectations rise. If this list is changing how you see the motorcycle market, make sure to hit like and subscribe to stay ahead. Share your thoughts in the comments. Let us know which models you've seen struggling or disappearing from dealer floors. Number 7. Kawasaki Vulcan 900 Classic. This model has been a familiar sight on the road for years, carrying a reputation for steady manners and relaxed cruising that appealed to riders who wanted a simple machine without unnecessary complication. Its long, low posture and predictable handling once made it a dependable option for those stepping into the mid-size cruiser world. Over time, though, expectations grew, particularly for riders who value long-distance stability, smooth suspension response, and torque that holds firm on rolling highways. The Vulcan still offers a pleasant introduction to cruiser riding, yet it increasingly feels like an older design trying to keep pace with riders who now demand more refinement and authority on the open road. Many riders who built their skill over decades appreciate a machine that remains honest in its purpose, and the Vulcan does that well. It delivers an approachable ride, a manageable stance, and a calm temperament that suits local loops and slower routes. However, when the road stretches out and the miles begin to add up, the limitations of its dated platform become clearer. The front end feels light at higher speeds, the suspension can grow unsettled over broken pavement, and the overall response lacks the solid composure riders expect when carrying gear or sharing the highway with larger machines. These traits do not make the Vulcan unreliable, but they do reveal how far the segment has advanced around it. Cruiser riders who lean toward comfort and stability often look for smooth pull, strong low-end power, and a saddle that supports long stretches in the seat. The Vulcan provides a pleasant rhythm in town, but on extended rides, it does not offer the support or long-haul confidence found in more modern cruisers. Its ergonomics feel narrow, its damping feels dated, and its overall presence on the road lacks the planted assurance that many experienced riders value. For those who appreciate a simple motorcycle with modest demands, the Vulcan still holds its charm. Yet for riders who want a dependable companion for real mileage, the platform's age becomes increasingly difficult to overlook. A relaxed and torque-rich riding character comes from a 903 cubic centimeter V-twin, producing roughly 50 horsepower and nearly 58 pound-feet of torque. Stopping power is supplied by a single front disc and a rear drum, with anti-lock braking available on specific versions. The wet weight sits close to 620 pounds, balanced by a seat height of about 26.8 inches. Fuel capacity reaches roughly 5.3 gallons, and pricing for newer model years typically begins around $9,599. The next bike on this list shows how a familiar name can fall behind when expectations rise. While we move on, check the eyes description for your gears and accessories. Number 6. Suzuki Boulevard C50. It carries a presence that is both approachable and familiar, aimed at riders who value a straightforward, no-nonsense cruiser experience. Its low-slung profile and long wheelbase suggest stability, while the compact V-twin layout provides a visual cue of traditional cruiser engineering. This bike appeals to those who appreciate simple, clean lines without excess gadgetry. Yet as riders who log long distances increasingly prioritize highway comfort, suspension compliance, and responsive handling, the Boulevard reveals the limits of its older design. The ride remains manageable for city streets and short runs, but extended journeys highlight where refinement has not kept pace with expectations. The ergonomics are a defining feature of the Boulevard. Low seat height, slightly forward foot controls, and moderate reach handlebars make it comfortable for smaller riders. Yet taller or long-legged riders will feel the constraints on longer tours. The suspension offers predictable compliance on smooth surfaces, but under highway conditions or rougher pavement, it tends to become harsh, transmitting fatigue to the rider. Steering is light at low speeds, which aids maneuverability in urban environments, but the lack of weight and momentum at higher speeds reduces confidence for sustained highway cruising. For those accustomed to heavier mid-size or full-size cruisers, the Boulevard requires an adjustment in expectation. Riders who value reliability and straightforward maintenance still find merit in the Boulevard's simplicity. It does not demand intensive upkeep, and the parts are readily available, which appeals to owners who maintain their own machines. However, when compared to modern cruisers that integrate enhanced ergonomics, stronger torque, and smoother suspension, the Boulevard can feel dated. Its personality comes from its understated design and manageable power, but it does not offer the same command over long distances or more aggressive road conditions. Riders who have experienced larger, better balanced machines may quickly notice its limitations, even while appreciating its approachable character. A classic, low-slung cruiser layout supports this smooth-running V-twin, built around an 8.5 cubic centimeter engine, delivering roughly 53 horsepower and about 52 pound-feet of torque. Stopping power comes from a single front disc paired with a rear drum, while suspension relies on a telescopic front fork and dual rear shocks. Wet weight settles near 542 pounds, matched with a seat height of approximately 27.6 inches. Fuel capacity is just over 4 gallons, and pricing for current runs typically begins around $6,599. The next bike on this list demonstrates that even a reliable, simple platform can struggle when the market demands more refinement and versatility. Number 5. Yamaha Bolt R-Spec. The model was introduced as a straightforward, minimalist cruiser for riders who wanted a clean V-twin experience without the complexity of full touring setups. Its stripped-back design, low stance, and mid-mounted controls give the impression of a pure, no-nonsense ride. This bike targets those who value simplicity, reliability, and the unmistakable presence of a V-twin on the road. Its appeal lies in its ability to deliver a familiar cruiser feel, without excess weight or complicated electronics. However, as the market shifted toward more comfortable, torque-heavy, and refined machines, the Bolt began to show its limitations, particularly for riders who log long highway miles or demand higher performance and comfort. Experienced riders appreciate the honesty of the Bolt. Its low seat height and narrow profile make it easy to manage, and the short wheelbase allows for nimble maneuvering through city streets. The bike rewards steady throttle input and predictable cornering behavior, which suits new riders as well as those seeking a simple second machine for short trips. Yet, on longer rides, the limitations become more apparent. The suspension, while firm, can transmit road imperfections directly to the rider. The seat remains narrow and lightly padded, which over extended periods can lead to fatigue. Steering geometry and front-end feedback are adequate at moderate speeds, but the bike can feel unsettled in crosswinds or during heavy braking, highlighting the gap between its simplicity and the demands of more refined touring cruisers. For riders accustomed to modern machines, the Bolt delivers an honest but basic experience. Its engine provides enough power for city commuting and casual highway rides, but torque delivery does not match the fuller, heavier cruisers in its class. It rewards riders who value light handling and a pure mechanical connection, yet it lacks features that improve comfort, stability, and confidence on extended road trips. This trade-off between simplicity and long-distance capability has contributed to its slower movement in the used and new bike markets, as riders increasingly favor machines that balance heritage with modern performance expectations. A minimalist bobber stance frames this air-cooled V-twin, driven by a 942 cubic centimeter engine, producing about 65 horsepower and nearly 59 pound-feet of torque. A single front disc and single rear disc anti-lock braking system provide steady control, supported by a telescopic front fork and twin rear shocks. Wet weight rests close to 542 pounds, while the seat height remains approachable at roughly 27.2 inches. Fuel capacity stands near 3.4 gallons, and pricing commonly starts around $8,899. The next bike on this list demonstrates how even a well-regarded cruiser can struggle when rider expectations evolve beyond basic design. To keep up with the latest updates on motorcycles that are losing value and disappearing fast, subscribe now. Stay informed, protect your garage, and make sure you're always in the loop before the market shifts again. Number 4. Indian Scout 60. It arrived as a lightweight American cruiser, intended to offer entry-level riders a taste of the brand's heritage, without the bulk or complexity of a larger machine. Its low, stretched profile and classic styling provided an approachable stance for new riders, and its smooth V-twin character delivered the familiar pulse expected from Indian. Initially, the Scout 60 impressed with its balance between comfort and simplicity, allowing riders to navigate city streets and suburban loops with confidence. Over time, however, the market has shifted, with riders increasingly expecting more torque, longer suspension travel, and a stability that can handle sustained highway speeds and longer distances. This shift has placed pressure on the Scout 60 to maintain relevance in a segment that rewards refinement and rider assurance over mere style. Riders who appreciate classic cruiser aesthetics will still find value in the Scout's clean lines, rounded fuel tank, and minimalist instrumentation. The ergonomics are friendly: a low seat, mid-mounted foot controls, and swept-back handlebars make for easy reach and maneuverability at low speeds. Yet taller riders, or those accustomed to touring machines, quickly notice the trade-offs. On highways, the Scout's shorter wheelbase and lighter weight can lead to twitchy handling under crosswinds. The suspension, while tuned for city comfort, compresses more aggressively under added load or uneven pavement. Riders seeking long-range comfort may find the seat too narrow, and the lack of advanced damping limiting for extended days in the saddle. Maintenance simplicity is a strength, and the Scout 60 delivers reliable performance when treated with routine care. Its throttle response is predictable, and the engine's smoothness suits shorter rides. Yet, as competitors offer broader torque curves, improved suspension, and ergonomics designed for longer miles, the Scout begins to feel like a machine frozen in time. Riders who once embraced it for its accessibility now weigh its limitations against their expectations for comfort, stability, and confidence during extended rides. Style and entry-level appeal cannot entirely offset the need for real road performance in modern conditions, and the Scout faces a tougher challenge of holding attention among seasoned riders who measure a bike and capability as much
What's
as
up,
charm.
everyone? Welcome back to 85 The Ride. If you're new to the channel, this is my 2023 Indian Scout Bobber.
Liquid-cooled V-twin, producing around 78 horsepower and approximately 65 pound-feet of torque. Dual front discs and a single rear disc anti-lock braking system deliver confident stopping performance. The wet weight is roughly 560 pounds paired with a seat height close to 25.6 inches. Fuel capacity sits a little above 3.3 gallons, and pricing for the platform typically begins near $9,999. The next bike on this list illustrates how even a familiar platform with strong heritage can lose its footing when new expectations redefine the segment. Number 3. Honda CB500F. Its upright seating, neutral ergonomics, and minimal bodywork made it appealing to riders seeking a machine that delivered clarity and predictability without excessive weight or complexity. For those who valued control and simplicity, the bike provided an easy introduction to street riding, with a balanced chassis and a manageable engine that encouraged confidence. However, as the market shifted toward adventure-styled machines and retro-inspired platforms, the 500F began to lose its footing among riders who desired both personality and more engaging performance from their mid-sized machines. Riders accustomed to motorcycles that could serve multiple roles, urban commuting, spirited weekend rides, and light touring, quickly noticed the trade-offs inherent in the 500F. The suspension is functional but minimal. The seat supports short trips but can grow uncomfortable over longer distances. And the lack of wind protection exposes the rider to fatigue on extended road stretches. While the handling is predictable, the lightweight frame and moderate power output mean the bike requires attentive throttle control and cannot deliver the same surge or highway composure as larger naked or sport machines. These limitations are subtle for casual city use, but for riders who spend real miles on mixed terrain, they become increasingly apparent. The engine rewards smooth, consistent inputs and retains Honda's hallmark reliability, making maintenance predictable and parts accessible. Its approachable power curve allows new and experienced riders alike to feel in command. Yet, it cannot match the acceleration or torque of the current crop of retro or adventure motorcycles. Those seeking to feel planted on the road for longer distances may find themselves yearning for a platform with more refinement, while riders drawn to styling and engagement notice the 500F's simplicity does not translate to excitement. Its appeal persists among those prioritizing mechanical honesty over bells and whistles. Yet its role in the market has narrowed as riders increasingly favor models with stronger identity, broader performance envelopes, and enhanced ergonomics. Stepping into the mid-sized segment with confidence, this machine features a 471 cubic centimeter liquid-cooled parallel twin producing about 47 horsepower and roughly 31.7 pound-feet of torque. Braking is managed via dual front discs and a single rear disc, all equipped with anti-lock braking. Wet, or curb weight, is around 416 pounds, paired with a seat height of approximately 31.1 inches. The base price typically begins at about $6,899. The next bike on this list illustrates how even respected and reliable platforms can face declining interest when style, utility, and rider expectations evolve faster than the machine itself. Number 2. Kawasaki Z900RS. It emerged as a retro-inspired naked motorcycle that aimed to combine classic styling with modern performance. Its upright posture, sculpted fuel tank, and minimalist bodywork evoke the spirit of traditional roadsters, while its aggressive stance and exposed engine components hint at contemporary capabilities. Initially, it attracted riders who appreciated a balance between timeless appearance and sufficient performance to handle open roads confidently. However, as riders' expectations shifted toward more comprehensive ergonomics, broader torque, and enhanced long-distance comfort, the Z900RS increasingly revealed the limitations inherent in its design. Its charm lies in its visual appeal and accessible handling, yet it competes in a market that now demands versatility and refinement alongside style. Riders of mid-sized naked machines quickly notice the differences between practical daily use and style-focused design. The Z900RS provides responsive handling and precise feel at lower speeds, yet highway stretches reveal compromises in seat comfort and suspension travel. Its front-end geometry aids urban control, but the short wheelbase and firm rear suspension transmit vibrations. Low seat height and moderate handlebars suit many riders, yet touring-capable motorcycle users may find ergonomics constrained over long rides. The engine offers linear, predictable power and simple controls, but in comparison to modern naked and retro models, it struggles with torque, suspension, and long-distance comfort. With retro-inspired flair and modern performance, this model runs a 948 cubic centimeter liquid-cooled inline-4, generating approximately 110 horsepower and close to 72.3 pound-feet of torque. It uses dual front discs and a single rear disc with anti-lock braking, supported by high-tensile steel trellis frame and modern suspension components. Curb weight stands near 474 pounds, and the seat height measures about 32.9 inches. Pricing for this platform generally starts around $10,999. The next motorcycle on this list demonstrates that even an established brand's design can falter when comfort, performance, and rider expectations evolve beyond nostalgic appeal. Number 1. Harley-Davidson Softail Standard. The model has long been positioned as Harley-Davidson's entry-level big twin, offering a clean, stripped-back appearance and the unmistakable presence of a true American cruiser. Its low, stretched frame and classic V-twin character deliver a sense of familiarity to riders who have logged decades on the road. The bike's simple, uncluttered styling emphasizes traditional cruiser lines, without excess fairings or electronic aids, providing an approachable platform for both newer and experienced riders seeking a purist experience. Despite its heritage, however, the Softail standard faces increasing pressure from competitors and evolving rider expectations, particularly in areas such as long-distance comfort, wind protection, and ergonomics for extended mileage. Riders who value the raw feel of a Harley appreciate the Softail's tactile feedback and the pulse of a Milwaukee 8 V-twin. Its low seat height, mid-mounted foot controls, and moderate handlebars provide accessibility for many rider sizes. Over long rides, the minimalistic suspension can transmit fatigue, and limited wind protection reduces comfort on highways. The engine delivers smooth, predictable power with reliable maintenance. While classic lines and simplicity appeal, long-haul performance and modern comfort fall short compared to larger Softails and retro cruisers. Embodying classic cruiser presence with modern hardware, this big twin runs a 1,745 cubic centimeter V-twin, producing around 87 horsepower and approximately 110 pound-feet of torque. Dual front discs and a single rear disc with anti-lock brakes ensure stopping power, while the suspension and frame preserve the stripped-back aesthetic. Wet weight is close to 695 pounds, matched with a seat height of about 25.7 inches. The starting price for this model is typically near $14,999. This final entry demonstrates how even a classic Harley platform can face challenges when rider priorities shift toward comfort, touring capability, and long-distance performance. There you have it. 9 motorcycles the market has completely turned its back on. Some of these hurt to see fading away, but that's the reality riders are facing right now. Now I want to hear from you. Which models are sitting untouched at your local dealership? Which ones do you think deserve the chop? Leave your take in the comments below. And if you want more truth, more real talk, and more no BS breakdowns just like this, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss what's coming next.